Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I did my last video. Just this COVID has absolutely been crazy. As most of you probably don't know, we have a child on the way, so I have been slamming away at this car trying to get as much of it done because I know that when the baby does come, I'm probably not going to have a lot of time to work on the car. So I know I promised a video on doing a set of drawers here. I did do a full video on it, and it was probably went for about 20-30 minutes long. And I kind of realized who really gives a shit. I mean, you're probably not really interested in it. I mean, there's so many other videos on YouTube at the moment on how to install drawers. You know, what you guys need to know is it was super simple to do. I've never installed a set of drawers in my life. The instructions from ARB were perfect, plenty of detail. The kits, everything came with the kit from washers, spacers, bolts, everything. So it's really super simple to do. And yeah, so don't be afraid, get on the tools. If you need any questions, I mean, there's plenty of forums on the internet, you know, plenty of people out there who also have done it. And if you need help, just shoot out a message, or even if you want to ask me, just DM me and I'll let you know. So I'm going to make a video today on pretty much what I have been doing so far. I have a bit of a problem making YouTube videos. I end up just getting in there and just having a crack, and I forget to pick up the camera and show you guys what I'm doing. So I thought I'm going to break it down so far into a couple of videos. So what I might do today is I'll talk about the drawer system, talk about my water tank that I've got and the air compressor setup, as well as a few things over here. So I'm going to pull the fridge out and the slide, and we'll get into it. Also, thought I'd just jump in really quickly to give a shout out to the boys at Mates Off Road. Ended up reaching out and giving me some gear. I've also got one of their jumpers, so really nice, high quality. Got the label on the back, nice big label on the back as well, sorry, and a little one on the front. So yeah, Mates Off Road is just a small little four-wheel drive community based here in Western Sydney. They do a lot of local trips and little day trips and camping trips, and yeah, they're a really nice bunch of blokes. If you guys want to reach out to them, I believe they have a Facebook group. They might have an Instagram page. I'm pretty sure they've also got a YouTube channel. One of my mates runs that. And yeah, so if you ever want to get in contact with them, they've got some really nice day trips that they plan. At the moment, they're not really planning anything because of all this COVID lockdown bullshit. But I know in the future, they will be heading out to the Wadigans, and I really hope the big girl's ready for that. But yeah, shout out to them. All right, so as you can see, the fridge and slide have been pulled out, and now we've got this big open space. So out of all the drawers that I was going for, I ended up choosing the ARB modular drawer system. There was a couple of other brands that I looked at. I was also interested in the MSA system, but weight was a really big factor. I think they came in at about 90 kilos, which is super heavy. I mean, it was a beautiful system, you know, inbuilt LEDs and really nice, strong system, but yeah, it was just way too heavy for the back of the car. I ended up going with the ARB for a couple of reasons. For me, super close, out here in Camden, you know what I mean? It's only a hop, skip and a jump over to Gregory Hills where my local ARB is, so super simple, super easy for me. Child restraint points was a really big factor for me. I looked at a couple of other drawer systems. I was actually about to pick another system over here in Narell, and they make a lot of ORS, off-road systems. They make a lot of in-house drawers and a nice Australian business, but they didn't have a baby, what would you call it? The baby seat points. They didn't have them on their system. They're part of the system. They actually shortened the drawers, and you had to use the factory points. And that was something I didn't want. I wanted to try and have as much space as possible. So the ARB was the best one for me because obviously being right at the back, it's a no-brainer. So as far as the system goes, I've got two solid tops. They don't slide. I didn't want them to slide because obviously I've got a tilt slide that I've got here. And I've got another little thing that I'm putting over here that's going to be bolted down to the top. And because I didn't go for the top, that's why I ended up going for the ARB stainless little pull-out table here. Really basic design. It's not really that technical, but super strong. I wouldn't recommend jumping on it unless you want to break it. But apart from that, really nice surface. It actually can come out with the drawer, so really nice. You can have it all the way out, which is really cool. Really sturdy handles. They do lock, which is another positive thing. But yeah, really basic, really simple, really nice, hardcore marine carpet. Obviously I've got the wing panels as well. You can see there on the sides and obviously at the back. And yeah, really good kit. Also with the drawers, really nice lockout feature. So I'm not too sure if any of the other drawers have it, but with the ORS, they didn't actually have these kind of drawer systems. They were on just a simple slide out. And even if you have like the drifter kind of style there on their Teflon sliders, they don't actually have a lockout. So imagine being on a really steep hill and pulling your drawers out. I mean, I already know that they can be a little bit, obviously there's a bit more friction than these here roller drawers, but the last thing I would want is my whole drawer to fall out of the back of my car on steep hill. So with the ARB drawer system, they do have a lockout that'll stop the drawer, and then it's a simple, just bit of a bump to push it back in. Another perfect thing that I want, and I will recommend this if you are going to do a rear setup on your car, do your research. Make sure everything's going to sit perfect, make sure everything's going to fit. With this system that I've done, I spent countless hours, countless nights making sure that everything was going to fit, and it has to a T. What I ended up doing, I wanted a water storage. I mean, every car needs a water storage if you're going to go out back. And as my cousin told me, he started off with, he says the most perfect system should be designed around your water storage. And I completely fucked that up because I didn't factor it in. So I pretty much built everything, and then it came to the last minute where I was like, I need some water storage. And this was all the kind of space that I had to work with. And it just so happened that this 44-litre Footwell water tank was the perfect fit. They come from companies like Boab. This is a Boab one, but there was also Front Runner, and there was another company that did it also, Tough Terrain, I think they did it as well. And it just so happened that the gap from where the Footwell should be would fit a dual ARB air compressor. Perfect. There was a couple of issues that come into play when you are doing this. Obviously, these compressors do bring on quite a bit of heat. So I have made a few kind of preventative things to factor in for that heat. But just to start off with, so it's the 44-litre Footwell water tank. I have propped it up with some 12mm ply. It's obviously all carpeted. So obviously that's been lifted up a little bit so you can fit your hand, so you get a nice little gap in between. And as we go in a little bit closer here, as you can see, for that heat, I have actually gone to Supercheap and picked up this heat reflective tape. It's got a self-adhesive on the back, and that has actually, just filled the water tank up, that's all been coated underneath. So that's rated to, I think, 1,000 degrees Celsius or some ridiculous amount. Obviously, I think these air compressors, they have a cutout just over 100, but it was just, if I'm gonna have 44 litres in here, and I have this thing going on a hot day, and it just so happens to soften the plastic, and I have 44 litres of water in the back of my car. That's something I really don't want. So yeah, I've put the heat reflective tape that goes all the way there, all the way down the sides, just in case here. But yeah, really nice product, and it hasn't come off yet, so that's also positive. So yeah, I'll just pull out this water tank and I'll show you the air compressor. Also, before I forget, with the Footwell water tank, it does have an outlet on either end, obviously because you are going to have this big kind of hole in the middle. So yeah, it does have an outlet on both sides, which is perfect. Yeah, so when you are getting empty on one side, you can always use the other side, but obviously that means 2 hoses and twice the connections. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take, because obviously, as you can see, it fit perfect in that gap. Now for the air compressor. When I was looking for air compressors, there was 2 brands that I was pretty much looking at. It came down to the TJM and the ARB. I have had the the King's super cheap air compressor before. It did the job. It took quite a long time to fill up my tyres, but I wanted something that would perform a little bit better and obviously fit nice and perfect in here underneath that water tank. The good thing about this air compressor is that it's obviously there's 2 of them, so if one does fail, you can use the other one. It can operate with the air lockers, ARB air lockers. You can run air tools off them because they do run a lot harder than the other ones. But yeah, really just a really nice quality product. It's actually been bolted through the tops here, and it goes through the gowl carcass of the drawers. But with my fittings, I ended up getting a little fitting kit because I didn't want it to come right up. So I've actually spun the manifold over. As you can see, that actually comes out the side here rather than up the top. So I've spun the whole manifold over. And what I will be doing is I will be running some braided air lines, and that's going to run all the way down the side. And that will be coming to that. That is the air compressor mounting kit that I got. I did have plans on putting it in the front of the drawers, like I had seen some other, I think it was a 200 Land Cruiser. He actually put one on the front of the wing kit here, and it looked immaculate, but unfortunately for us patrol owners, we don't have that clearance between the drawers and the door, so I couldn't do it. But this turned out to be really a pretty nice fit. It's actually all it is just screwed through this here kind of cardboard, whatever material it is. So it's been screwed in here, but as you can see, it's not going anywhere. And what I will be doing is I'm just going to be shooting this air line just through here underneath the wing kit and connecting back up to the air compressor. So yeah, what I will also be doing is running this air compressor manifold kit. So off this manifold kit, we'll go from the air compressor to the manifold kit, from the manifold kit to this here outlet, and then from this manifold kit, this is where you can do your air lockers. So the air locker lines will be going to this and kind of branches out. So this is, yeah, the big T section that's going to be mounted just in here. But yeah, that's all my ARB air compressor system. Hasn't been wired up yet. As you can see, there's a lot of wires hanging around the car at the moment. I'm just at the moment getting everything all mounted up and getting ready to take it off to the auto electrician. But yeah. addition that I've put to the front of these drawers is just incorporating some switches and panels into the front. So as you can see, that is my ARB air compressor switch. So obviously when I want to pump up my tires, all I'll do is I'll install my air line in, hit the compressor, and I should have air. We've also got the Enerdrive isolator switch for the Enerdrive inverter. I'll do another video on that later because it's quite a large 12 volt system. And I also just incorporated a 240, a couple of 240 outlets for the inverter. So if I want to run any, if I want to run a hair dryer or a hair straightener or anything like that, I can just plug them in there. And then on this side, I have installed a Crazy Ricks switch panel. This is where I got the idea of putting the outlet in, but obviously, once again, didn't fit. But yeah, I stumbled across this guy on Facebook. He makes all his own switch panels from, I think, they're like an injected plastic mold. It was a very strong product. The only problem I will say, when I did get it, it probably wasn't a problem with the panel, it was probably something else, or maybe the way that the wing kit was actually installed, but it wasn't flush. It did have a bit of a curve. And because I'm a dickhead, I actually tried to bend the panel trying to straighten it out. And because I am a dickhead, it actually cracked the panel. But it's not his fault, that's my fault. I ended up just throwing a bit of Aldite on the back and it ended up coming up good. So yeah, got that all fixed. But as you can see, I've also gone for the Crazy Ricks switches as well. These are all, they are designed for Toyotas. They come with all the Toyota colors, so Toyota green, Toyota amber, and the Toyota blue. I don't really care, I've just gone for blue because I think that's the coolest. But yeah, so they're all just a simple push in, push out switch. And I've got the 2 fridge switches, canopy lighting, and the kitchen lights. And we've also gone for the dual USB and the 12 volt socket, just a SIGGI outlet, just in case anyone still runs that. But yeah, apart from that, really nice. Obviously the finish speaks for itself. It looks really nice. I'm really happy with it. So there you have it, guys. This is one of a few videos that I hope to be making, just to kind of show you what I have been up to in my 2-month hiatus. Yeah, so today all I did was I talked about the drawers, the water tank, and the air compressor, and a bit of the air compressor system. In the future, I would like to talk about their headboard. There are quite a few other things on the other side that I wouldn't mind talking about. My 12 volt lighting, I've been going absolutely bananas on that. I've got lights everywhere. It's going to look like a Christmas tree. And yeah, and obviously all the 12 volt system with all the batteries and all the other goodies. So yeah, hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, just hit me up and I'll answer them the best I can. But yeah, thanks for watching.